What's up, guys? I'm Mike from StockedUp, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. We have so much important information to go over in today's video with Biden's infrastructure plan. We also have to talk about Microsoft winning a $22 billion deal with the Army, and we also have news with Moderna. And at the end of the video, we have a $12 million trade for tomorrow. I just want to remind everyone, the market is closed on Friday for Good Friday, so tomorrow is the last trading day of the week. But overall, stick around to the end of the video. We have so much information to go over. So Tom, fill us in. What happened with Biden's plan today?
Yeah, this was a humongous speech Biden gave today. It's a $2.2 trillion infrastructure package. $620 billion is going to go towards transportation. He also talked about hydrogen and EVs today. And you can see that Plug Power, it ran up to $38 in after hours and then came down to $36.75 as he mentioned that, which was awesome with hydrogen. Also FCEL, which is fuel cell, also went up above $15, hitting $15.11. Falling back down to $14.75 now. But it's just an amazing move out of those hydrogen stocks. But Biden said they're going to retrofit some American vehicles with EVs, and that's going to be a big deal because he also said that they're going to purchase it from an American company. So that almost limits it down to like Tesla and a few other companies, I think, like CCIV, which is Lucid Motors. They could get a deal as well. But I think Tesla might be the big one that the government looks at. But also Ford has been kind of talking a lot about EVs lately as well. So has General Motors. So it could be any of these American companies. And I think that's a big deal that he mentioned that it would be an American company. And then Mike, fill us in on the numbers about the EVs.
Sure thing. So out of this package, $174 billion is expected to go towards EVs. And then they're also targeting to have 500,000 charging stations by 2030. So that's great news just for the EV sector. You can look at Tesla, Ford, Workhorse, and some of those stocks, which is great. And back to the hydrogen stocks like PLUG and FCEL, I think everyone was just kind of focused on the EV sector going into this speech. So I think that's why we saw the rally in after hours with FCEL and PLUG. And right now it looks like those two hydrogen stocks have the most potential for tomorrow, but we're still very early on in the day today. But I'll definitely have my eyes on PLUG and FCEL tomorrow. They are some pretty big runners. They are pretty volatile, so I'll definitely have my eyes on them.
Yeah, they're definitely running in after hours, and they did kind of start to fall back now, but just keep in mind there's going to be a lot of volatility between now and tomorrow. But there's also some great news with Microsoft today, and if we go to their chart, you can see how much they popped up around 1:50, 2 p.m. Eastern or 2 p.m. Central Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and you can see how much it went up. They hit around that 239 resistance and then fell back down to end the day, but it was just a great pop by them because they won a U.S. Army contract for augmented reality headsets worth up to $21.9 billion over 10 years per CNBC. And the contract comes a year and a half after Microsoft won a cloud contract from the Pentagon that could be worth up to $10 billion. So they just keep winning some contracts from the military and from the Pentagon. And that's just great for Microsoft, especially with augmented reality, because that's a good way to kind of like train soldiers and kind of, it's just a good way to get that kind of experience without actually doing it, and it's just one of those ways to help train them. And I just, augmented reality is a good thing for the future as well. And it's good that they won those contracts.
For sure, it's great for the stock. I think that's why we saw it just skyrocket out of nowhere. So I'm sure this will definitely help Microsoft over the long term. And I'm excited to see how their stock continues to react for the next couple weeks off of this news, because it's definitely not a small deal. $22 billion is definitely an impressive deal. So I'll definitely have my eyes on it. And then Tom, what's going on with Moderna?
Yeah, the U.S. actually begins testing Moderna's vaccine booster shots for the variant that is coming from South Africa. And the American Rescue Plan waived federal tax on up to $10,200 of the unemployment benefits per person collected in 2020. And the IRS will issue refunds automatically to taxpayers starting in May, the agency said on Wednesday, which is today. and those payments will continue into the summer. And this is per CNBC, but it's pretty much just saying that the IRS will issue the refunds automatically beginning in May, and then they're also going to waive the tax on up to $10,200 of unemployment benefits, which is also pretty big. But there's also that Moderna vaccine booster, which is also coming into play. So there's two little pieces of news there that are kind of offsetting each other, I think, in the news. And if we go to Moderna stock, they're up 10% today on that booster shot news. But keep in mind that some of those stocks like Pfizer and the other ones have went down in the past on this news. So just be careful with Moderna.
All right. Well, is there any other major news today?
I think that's about it.
All right, well, let's get right into the momentum plays and the member of the day. Today's member of the day is Carlos182. He's always commenting in the YouTube comments down below, always super positive and always has some great questions. So huge shout out, Carlos. Thank you so much for the positivity. We really appreciate it. But let's get right into the momentum plays for tomorrow. The first one we are looking at is BLNK. It was up around 11% today, and it's actually breaking out. So what levels should we be watching?
Yeah, guys, this is definitely a stock to watch tomorrow. This is a fantastic setup. If you're looking for something, this has to do with those charging stations as well, like Biden talked about. Make this stock break above the $42 mark. It's a very solid resistance. It's hit off of it twice over the past couple of weeks, and they also had earnings, and now we're heading right back up to that. And with this news, I think we might break above this tomorrow, so definitely watch BLNK.
Yeah, I actually really like this setup, not only for a potential day trade tomorrow, but even if we fall down tomorrow, like I might even scoop up some shares of this one for the long term. Either way, I'm definitely going to be watching it. With the next one, we have Moderna, which actually we just talked about, but it did have a pretty solid day today, up around 10.5%.
Yep, and with Moderna, make it pop above $132, which is just a solid resistance over the past couple weeks.
All right, and with the next one, we have NVIDIA.
NVDA, it's solid chip stock, but make this one pass above 551 or $540. Sorry.
Sounds good. Well, so we are eyeing all of these plays for potential day trades tomorrow, only if they can break above the levels Tom listed. But let's get right into that $12 million trade for tomorrow. We are looking at the Tesla 680 strike calls. So this is definitely an interesting one, Tom. It's about, what is it, like $15 out of the money right now. It expires tomorrow. Tesla was up about 5% today. I think this is a complete gamble, but either way, I'm going to have my eyes on Tesla tomorrow. But to see an option with $12 million put into it that expires tomorrow, but it is $15 out of the money, like, I don't know how to interpret this one. Like, it's so close to the money, and with the way Tesla moves, seeing a $30 up day or $30 down day is pretty common. So what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think it might go up tomorrow. Just given what Biden said about the EV stocks, I think that this specific play might be a covered call. Actually, I think that they might have some shares, and they might just want to kind of get out of some of those. But who knows what's going to happen? And they might have just longed these. Given what Biden said, they might have been gambling that he would kind of talk about EV stocks in the future and stuff like that. And that's kind of actually what he did. He talked about EV stocks, hydrogen stocks, and a whole bunch of different sectors. And that really kind of helped, I think, some of these stocks, and hopefully it helps Tesla tomorrow and some of these other stocks, but definitely just watch for it. I think to break above the high of today around 672, I think that'll be a pretty good resistance tomorrow. And I think that given what Biden said, I think that this whole sector could do very well tomorrow.
Yeah, I think the best way to play it is like if we see a break resistance with a lot of momentum, a lot of volume coming in, I think that would be the best signal for like maybe like an intraday day trade with calls or something like that. It'll just have to be kind of eyed out as the stock progresses. But with that being said, let's get right into the comments from the previous episode. With the first comment, we have Michael saying, "You guys always kill it with these videos. I always look forward to them. Thank you for that." And then he said, "What are your thoughts on Disney?" So taking a look at it, it is one of those slower moving stocks. The implied volatility is only around 35%. With that being said, I like it for the long term. I like how they're really just focusing on Disney Plus. I think that's going to be great for them for the long term. I really like them. They're not the best to day trade because they don't move too much intraday, but I like them for a long-term hold. What do you think?
Yeah, I really like them for the long term as well. I think there's a good support around 180 to 181. I like them for the long term with Disney Plus, like you said. I think that's a solid thing for them, and there's just a lot of growth due with that Disney Plus streaming service. So I do like them for the long term, and they're into ESPN now as well. So that even is like a double whammy there. And they did hit 203 a while ago and start to pull back. So it could be good for cash secure puts soon if we do see a little bit bigger of a move to the downside, maybe towards 170 or 160.
Sounds good. With the next question, we have Rich saying, how would you determine the best expiration date when selling a call? I had a hard time figuring out what date on Mara and ended up going with 2 weeks out to collect profit sooner. I'd like your views on picking expiration dates. So I think this is a great question, and there's a lot of different parts and variables to this question. I've been doing a lot of research lately about like selling calls, selling puts, and like kind of like running the wheel strategy, you could say, but with a couple different tweaks. So I have a couple really exciting videos that are set to come out in the next 2 to 3 weeks regarding that. But just for a simple answer in today's video, I think a lot of it just depends on how soon you want to get rid of the shares you have. So for example, let's say you're holding 100 shares of Mara at $25 each, and right now it's at $48. If you kind of want to like get rid of your shares now, I think it would be smarter to sell an option with a quicker expiration date, or like a sooner expiration date, you could say. Like if we look at the April 16th expiration date, and let's say you want to sell the 50 strike covered call. If you really want to get rid of your shares, I think it would be smarter to sell with the sooner expiration date rather than the expiration date with a lot of time. The theta will be quicker and you'll get paid quicker. So those are my brief general thoughts on it. Like I said, I'm doing a lot of research on this topic, and I'll have a lot more videos with more information regarding this subject. But great question overall. With the next question, we have Jason saying, hey guys, great videos. Sometimes we try to figure out if a person is longing puts or shorting them. But if one person is shorting or selling them, doesn't that mean that someone else is buying or longing them? So there's an equal weight on each side. So this is an amazing question, and you're 100% right. If we see, for example, someone putting $10 million into calls, someone else is also selling those calls. So when someone buys, someone else sells. But when looking at unusual options activity, it's all about trying to decipher what the smart money is doing. And I'm going to try and give you an example here. Let's say we looked at let's say we look at DraftKings, right? There's a lot of information, or just a lot of kind of hype about the New York situation. A lot of investors in DraftKings are waiting to see whether or not New York legalizes sports betting. Let's say New York is set to vote on this topic in a week from now, like just hypothetically speaking. And then let's say we see $20 million worth of call options, in the money call options, coming on DraftKings. You would think that the smart money is buying those calls because they know that some positive news is going to come out of this situation. So there's no way to tell 100% whether smart money is longing or shorting calls, because at the end of the day, like you said, if someone's buying, someone else is selling. But the best thing we can do is look at the variables that are available to us, like the strike price, the expiration date, the time they were filled, what the stock is currently doing, some potential upcoming catalysts for the stock, and use all of that information to kind of make a prediction on what the smart money is doing. And a lot of times, if you use that information correctly, there could be a lot of value out of it. So great question overall. I'm sure a lot of other people had that. With the next question, we have Richard saying, hey, Mike and Tom, can you please go over ALEC? They have 3 catalysts that are due this year. They've been running up since $15. So I know Richard has been doing a lot of research with this stock, and it looks pretty good on the chart right now. Now, I have not done nowhere near the amount of research Richard has, but we will definitely dive a little bit into this stock. So I have some notes typed up here, and I know that their CEO is speaking tomorrow, and they have a strong balance sheet of about $400 million in cash. So Like Richard said, they have three big catalysts. They are a biotech stock. So with biotech stocks, they are very volatile usually. This stock right now is sitting at $20. It can very easily go from $20 to $30, but it could also go from $20 to $10. They're extremely volatile. So with that being said, make sure to do your own research. I know Richard has done a lot of research on this stock, and it seems to be working pretty well for him. So Tom, do you have any specific levels or anything you see on this play?
Yeah, I see a pretty good resistance around $21.50 to $22. You can see there was kind of a head and shoulders in the past, like whenever it went down. Now it's on the way back up. I think it has fantastic momentum behind it. Definitely make it, I think, pass above $21 tomorrow. And man, just watch out for a resistance at 22. There could be a pretty good resistance there, so just watch out.
Sounds good. With the next question, we have TB saying, hey guys, do you think Tesla will dip back around $600 this week? So, Tom, what do you think about this one?
Might have, but with the news that Biden came out with the plan and also talking about EVs, I think it might make Tesla and this sector go up. So I would say no, and I would say the chances of it hitting 600 by the end of this week are pretty low, given that tomorrow is the last day of trading. So that would have to be a 600, or that would have to be a $63 move to the downside, which would be pretty bad. So I don't think that would happen with Tesla tomorrow.
Yeah, and then I just checked what the market makers think, and the market makers are pricing in a 2.3% chance of Tesla going down to $600 by tomorrow, which is the end of the trading week. And then for next week, they're pricing in a basically an 18% chance of that happening. So I would say it's most likely not going to happen. So yeah, I hope that helps. With the next question, we have Michael saying, how do you feel about AAL? So I do like this stock. I like other airline stocks better, like LUV. I think they're in a much better financial position compared to AAL. With that being said, I like AAL and just airlines in general for like a swing for like the next couple weeks or so. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. It's almost back up to pre-corona highs, you could say, around $30. But I definitely like LUV a lot better. I think they're a lot better of an airline as well. And you could see that really on the performance with the chart, how much better of a company it is, as well as DAL, which is Delta Airlines, and they're doing pretty well as well.
For sure. With the next question, we have Pablo saying, what do you think about Palantir? So PLTR, it looks pretty good. It was up around 5.7% today, which is awesome to see. I like it for the long term, and I think it's just a total win-win situation for cash secured puts. But Tom, do you have any levels or anything to look out for this one?
Yeah, Palantir is amazing off of $20 and the $21 level. It's amazing for the longer term. I really love it around the support right now. If it breaks above $24 tomorrow, I think it can be even better of a day trade. But over the longer term, I do like it for cash secure puts as well. Definitely around $20 or 21, even a little bit below, maybe at like 19.50 or 19 if you can get those. But just keep in mind that this stock is pretty volatile, but I do love it for the longer term.
All right. Well, Tom, do you have any last minute stocks, options, or any insight for the market for tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm really going to be watching the SPY and the VXX, just given with Biden's speech and everything going on. I'm just going to be watching those two. I was really hoping the VXX might get a pop up with this speech, but it looks like that the market overall has just been pretty flat so far. So I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe it's going to go down, maybe it's going to go up, but overall it's just flat. I think we're going to have to really wait until pre-market tomorrow morning to see what the true what the true direction is in the market. And I think that's going to be the big thing tomorrow is the pre-market movement. I think we're going to see some stocks gap up, some gap down. We've already seen some stocks like PLUG fly up and also FCEL. So I'm going to be watching those as well.
Sounds great. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you want to trade with Tom and I every single day, day trades, swing trades, and access to our bots, you can click the first link in the description down below for about $40 off. And if you haven't already subscribed to our new channel, consider subscribing. It'll be that first link in the description down below. We're going to do some live streaming, live trading. Like I said, it's that first link in the description down below. So please subscribe. And if you learned something from this video, it would really help us out if you could hit that like button. But other than that, thanks for watching.